Okay, it's on.
My name is Lorraine Allen. I'm Southern Shoshone, and I come from Ishak Yukon Territory. My family comes from Ishak Yukon Territory. So I'm Wolf descendant, and my name is Lorraine Allen and Kuchunge, and my Southern Shoshone name is Chuala. And I work for the federal government 33 years, and I teach in the schools, F.H. Collins and Porter Creek School, and I teach Southern Shoshone language, and I teach mainly teach the language and teach the kids of respect and how a person should act and stuff like that.
Yeah, my late brother really looked up to you, and he was learning his language from you at Porter Creek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I help a lot of kids out. When they come into my class, I make fried meat and rice or something like that for them to get for traditional food.
Yeah.
They really like it because they miss traditional food when they come into town to Whitehorse to go to school. Kerry from Ross River, he come into my class, and him and his brothers and that. And now Terry, he brings meat for me. When he's a big game outfitter now. Terry, he do really good for himself. He bring me big dry meat too, big pack of dry meat.
Good.
And sheep meat, all kinds of things. So I really appreciate for teaching them kids and trying to look after them while they're here and stuff like that.
Yeah, it comes back to you, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So never judge kids when they're small, when they really grow into nice people. And that's how we were raised to respect other elders and young kids, and try to teach them. Even though they want to listen, you still talk, but they still hear you. Yeah. So I was just going to tell you a story about my how I grew up, and maybe tell you traditional true stories and stuff like that. For a long time I was wondering, I wish I could tell my story. Now I have the chance. This is me when I was small. I must have been 2 years old here. My brother Percy must have been 5 years old, I guess. And Gerald Brown, he must be 6 years old or something. So
Nice picture.
we were dressed up nice a long time ago. We had good life, and we were taught by our parents. And if our parents didn't teach us, all other people will teach you how to do things. And my mother here's my mother. My mother teach me a lot of things about trapping, and my dad teaches about trapping. He shows us how you make a deadfall, my father. And they talk about moose fence and how you make moose snare, and all the things that you could, things that you're gonna need in your lifetime. They try to teach you everything. And there's not a minute where I was just thinking about it today when I sew, and I remember what my mom say about how you do this in sewing and all kinds of things to fix. My mother teach me that, or my dad. And when we go trapping, this is my dad right here. He worked for the experimental farm.
What's his name?
Jack Allen.
Oh.
Yeah, my mother's name is Bessie Allen. And
Wow, he's working on hay.
yeah, they teach us everything traditional way, like, and we always had moccasins and stuff like that. A long time ago, they didn't have felt packs or anything. They wrapped cotton cloth around your feet, and then you put your moccasin on over it to go out in the cold.
Yeah.
And we gotta get up 5 o'clock in the morning. Even how small you are,
Yeah.
you have to get up 5 o'clock in the morning because you're gonna go check traps. And you don't go without a pack sack. They make a little pack sack for you and I carry 3 traps, 3 little gopher trap. And I used to set trap for weasel. My mother would set squirrel snares. They used to get 5,000 squirrel pelts. And it used to be 25 cents for one squirrel. Nowadays it's about $2 or $3 for one squirrel.
Yeah.
A long time ago it was 25 cents a one. And I would go with them, and we'd have to walk. We have a dog with a dog pack, so we could put the squirrels in the dog pack. And if the dog pack broke too, we had to help my mom fix it and stuff like that. And that's how we learned, because you participate with them, what they're doing, so you know how to do it. And so we used to go on the trap line and set traps for this and that. And my dad used to show us how to set the trap a certain way at the cubby, so that animal won't step on that spring thing,
Yeah.
but it'll step right inside the trap. So they showed us all those kind of things, and how to put the sticks in front of the trap and behind the trap. And they showed us how to make the cubby and stuff like that to be good trappers.
Yeah.
Because in their lifetime they depended on trapping. Yeah, they depended on trapping for clothing. They make clothing out of it, and they make babiche for snowshoes out of moose skin and caribou skin and stuff like that. And the boys were taught to hunt and fish, and were taught to never give up in an emergency case and stuff like that. They're really good people, you know. They really work hard in their life, and they make this is my auntie Jessie Allen. They make clothing for the army people. My mom was talking about that. She said they used to make coats and mitts and moccasins for the army when they come through here in 1944. They helped them to survive here too in these harsh weather conditions. And my mother said they used to sell them clothing. My mother made jackets for them and stuff like that, and fur hat and mitts, and they hunt and give them some meat and stuff like that. They did that for RCMP too. The RCMP in this country, they helped them with fish to survive and stuff like that. And even here in Dawson City, that Chief Isaac, he killed lots of caribou for there's miners there because they were starving. So the native people helped them all the way through. And the native people I hear those old people say, never got a thank you for anything they did for those people, so to survive. But that's they teach us how to set a net underneath. This is my son. There's a fish net in the back too, and there's fish to have 2 fish nets here, and we fish through the ice.
Wow.
And we were taught how to do that without using the auger, we call it, that one go underneath the ice. You have to make holes. Get a long pole like that with this, like that, and you put the long pole underneath the ice, and you make hole every how long that pole is, and the person push it with that stick this way, and then you can't find it this way, and you tell him it's not there, and he wiggles that stick back and forth here until you could see it here, and then another person grab it with a pole, and then you push it ahead, and then the other person run ahead, go to the next hole, and then that's how and the fish net's tied on a pole at the end, and you put it through underneath the ice. That's how they did it a long time ago.
Just sewing through the ice, eh? That's so neat.
They make a lot of holes, but then it takes about a whole day to set fish net, I guess. And if you get cold, they make fire on a shore, right? So you go there and warm up if your feet get cold and stuff like that. And they teach the boys how to hunt and fish and stuff like that. This is my brother Walter. My mother raised 3 kids that were her sisters because their parents didn't die. So they raised Walter and Annie and Daisy. Their last name was David, Charlie David's son. Kids. And that's how it was a long time ago. Your parents would raise their siblings' kids for their own, and he was a good hunter, Walter. He always looked after my parents and get meat for them and stuff like that. And then I hear a story a long time ago about my mother told me in her book. My dad's parents used to live in White River area because my dad's dad came from in Alaska, and he was told not to take my dad's mother from the Yukon, so he lived up in a Don Jack River area, and they used to go there and hunt for them. My mom and dad used to go there a long time ago and hunt sheep for them, get all the good things like sheep stomach, moose stomach, and bring it to them and put all the fat in one bag and stuff like that, and bring it all to them, and then they would go back to Asia. That's how the people used to look after their parents, make sure they had all kinds of food, and then they would go back to where they live. So, and now I was just talking about when we were trapping in Kiwani Lake, where I was raised up with them. When my dad came out of Asia because he had to work for an experimental farm, that picture there, he worked for an experimental farm, so that's how we moved out of Ashak, and there's school out. There was no school in Ashak, so that's how we had to go to school.
Where did you go to school?
Yeah, residential school.
Oh, you went to residential.
And when we were trapping, we would have to go with your parents really early in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, dark out. You have to. They used to have a can, like a coffee can or fruit can or a big, and they make hole on top. The can is like this, and they make a hole here, right? And they tie wire from the back of the can to the front of the can, and that's your handle. And they put they make a hole in the bottom too, and they push that candle through there, through the bottom, and that's their flashlight. And so we used to use that. Like when it was dark, we have to do that, eh?
Yeah.
My mother, dark time, my mother was, you watch your eye. You don't let that frozen stick poke your eye. And you know, people, they could get poked in their eye with a frozen stick. And they'll talk about all those things there that frozen sticks will damage your eye and stuff like that. So then when we go check our traps, and sometimes the squirrels will be eaten by weasel. That's where I come in. I go get a little stick and put my trap on the ground in a squirrel hole, and that's how I catch the weasel. And so then that's how they teach the young people how to trap. Like they go with the parents, and they do their own, eh?
Mm-hmm.
They do their own little trapping.
Oh,
And that's how it's taught. And then when you finish setting your trap, your mom will tell you, come over here, we'll show you how you. They don't say, we're going to show you. They say, come over here, set some snare, help me set snare.
Mm-hmm.
So you go over there, and then she talks about, you put it on like this and twist it like this, and then pull it tight on the pole, and then you make sure your snare is like this from the top, and it goes around. Your snare goes around like that. Tell you everything, how to do exactly everything the way it's supposed to be, and then when they see ptarmigan tracks up in the mountain, she shows us how to get a snowdrift, carve it like a triangle, and put it on the willow,
Mm-hmm.
and then on the bottom you put a little snare in where the tree go like this, or where you find a branch go like that. You put a little snare there. You tie it just like a rabbit snare, or you tie it like that, and you put all those little clumps of snow on top of the willows, and ptarmigan come there. They think it's ptarmigan sitting on those willows, so they land there, and then they go walk around through the bush, and that's how they catch that ptarmigan with a snare.
Mm.
So pretty interesting,
Yeah.
eh? That's survival of life. And when I was thinking, they know everything, those how to survive. They know how to make this and they make that, and they make moose snares. And in my dad's time, they make my dad's my mother's dad. He make moose snare really good all the time. Make it out of 24 strands of babiche, and they weave it, and they make long snare out of that, and they would set it where the moose come down in the valley, like in the valley they travel. Moose always travel where there's tree, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Never come out and open hardly unless they have to cross somewhere. That's what we were taught. That's how efficient they were for teaching. That's how I know.
Yeah, only cow moose comes out, right? Only cow moose comes out.
Yeah, and so when they cut a moose in the moose snare, that toggle would come down, but that toggle was so big and heavy it was tire them out, and they get caught in the willows and stuff like that. So then they were there to shoot it or they would make snowshoes too. They make snowshoes. My brother Walter, I'll show you that picture of Walter with that caribou.
Yeah.
He made a little pair of snowshoe, must be that long. And he tell me, well, you can't go with mom and dad to shopping. And he said, you are making a snowshoe. So you make it. He made it. And I walk around with that snowshoe too. And they make you run with it too. And then,
Did it work good?
yeah, they were. I stay on top of the snow and just run too. Sometimes I fall down. I remember I really fall down quite a bit with that snowshoe. My mom just ning na, get up. They don't get mad or anything like that. They just tell you to get up and come on, you know. And so that's how they raise kids. Usually they don't hit their kids, and they don't have to, because they talk to them, just like I did in school too. I talk to these kids, and teach them, you know, tell them about. Sometimes I tell them about how I grew up and stuff like that. They like to listen to that. They understand how they're supposed to act and stuff like that. And when we go out in our trap line, when we get the fur too, when my mom and dad used to get the link, they can't pack that frozen link all the way, so the ones that are not frozen, they would light a fire, and then I sit by the fire, and because I was the last one in the family to go to school, so I sit by the fire, and they give me stuff to eat and stuff, and mostly it's dry fish or dry meat or something like that they would give to me, or bannock, and then they hang up link by the feet, and they would skin it right there. And then with the carcass, they would use the carcass again. They put it in a tree, and they would set trap in the bottom of the carcass. And so they put the link. They turn the fur side out, raw fur. They roll it up, and they put it inside the dog pack. And then when they finish skinning the link, we're ready to go on other part of the trap line. So that's what they would do, and then when we get back to the cabin, we every 3 days we go check the trap, and when we're other days, sir, when we're not on a trap line checking traps, we would go get wood. We'd have to go get wood with dog team, and they would put me inside the glue, you call it. They make in the sleigh, they make a big bag out of moose skin. You know how you make moose skin boat? Well, this one here is tan moose skin, and they would make a bag inside the sleigh, and they put you inside there, and then with big bundle blanket, and then So they would do that, and then we go to the wood lot, and then with that one too, we got to get up 6 o'clock in the morning when it's dark outside. We go to the wood lot and go there and with dog team and we would have they would cut the wood with sweet saw, not power saw. They cut the wood with sweet saw like that. My mom and dad, one stand, the other end, the stand, other end. They cut the wood, and then us kids would try to drag it to the toboggan, put it in the toboggan. And, dog pull it, eh?
Yeah.
It's got a sled, a different team. They got a sled, and you pile it on top of their wood, and then it has a rail, like you pile the wood on top there, not very long, maybe 4 foot long. And if your brother was there or somebody there, they run it back to the cabin and then come back with that team, and then we stay there at that cutting wood all day. And then they show us how to split it and stuff like that. Always teaching all the time, my mom.
Always working, eh?
Show me how to split wood, eh?
Yeah.
She said, you split wood, you don't make sure you don't let that axe swing and cut your foot there. And do everything good. She always tell me, do everything good and think about it. When you do something, think about it and make sure you don't hurt yourself when you might hit your leg or whatever with the axe. And they would show you how to split wood and stuff like that. And then when my dad finished splitting wood, we would pack in the wood, pack wood, and then melt snow for water, eh? You take the top layer off the snow, and then you take the crystal snow on the bottom and put it in the pot, so clean snow. So you find an area that is open, that's where you get your snow, because and during the winter time, all the needles and everything, dirt or whatever comes down and up by the tree, eh? So you have to get it in a clean place, and where no dogs. My mom always said, don't get it where it's close to dogs now. They were always concerned about everything. It don't matter what you do, what's going on. They make sure they tell you, don't do this or don't do that. And that was part of learning. Every day seemed like this learning thing. Because right now I know a lot of things. I know about trapping. I know about how you set fish net, and it's because I was taught that. I know how to look after, how to make dog harness. A long time ago, they have dog race. You dress up your dog, or else. My mother said a long time ago, when people used to go visit people, like people from Asia would go to Carmack's or something, they would dress up their dog, and then the dog, when it comes, it go ding 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 ding, and they would they would make pom pom out of wool, different colors. They would put it on their dog harness, and we were even told how to make dog harness. You keep all the hair off the moose you kill when your mother make moose skin. You keep that hair, and you get a wire, telephone wire. We always used to use telephone wire, and you hook it like this and make it round like that, and you wrap that as you put that skin around and sew it, and you push that hair inside the moose hair inside the dog harness. Dog harness that go around this way.
Yeah.
Usually it's look like a horse harness. It's like this, shaped like this, and you put it on the dog like this. This top thing, that's where they tie the tassels and the bells and to make your dog team fancy. And so they show you how to make the dog harness too, out of moose hide, and you sew it up with sinew. And I also use they showed how you make sinew too out of that moose strap backbone. And you gotta strip it, that sinew small, take it apart. You have to dry that long piece of backstrap sinew. You hang it up on a pole and you let it dry. And then what you do is you get back of an axe and you hit it like this, just tap it to make it that muscle separate, and then you're able to take out the strands, eh? And then after you do that, and you've got a pot of water beside you, put it in there, put all strands in there, and then when you're ready to make mousse, that sinew, you take it out of there and you put some in your mouth and you twist it like that. Twist all the strands until that's all twisted up and to make sinew. To sew that moose harness, dog harness.
Wow. I always wondered how they made sinew.
Yeah, that's how you make it. Because we have to help our parents all the time do everything. Well, that's how they teach you.
Mm-hmm.
Is how you do anything that you have to survive on, because they want the kids to survive, eh? So that's how they talk to them every day. It's like every minute my mom was talking, or my dad, they're teaching. I guess they were teaching.
Yeah.
And you can learn a lot of things from stories too, eh? They teach stories, and they teach how people how they learned how to make snowshoe a long time ago. They tell a story about that too, about that grouse sit on a tree, and they learn a lot of things from animal teach them. They could talk to animal. Even now, you could talk to a wolf, or you could talk to the bear, or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
You talk to the bear, and if you meet up with the bear, you just tell him that you're out looking for food too, just like him. He understand you when you talk to him, no matter what kind of language. You talk to Indian, your native language, or you talk English, and they understand you, what you say to them. You tell them, I'm out here gathering food too, I need some berries for the winter, and I need some meat and stuff like that too, so I could live too. So you understand, you go other way, go away from you.
Mm-hmm.
And they use all kinds of fur a long time ago. That my mother told me about this one old man. He killed black bear. He made big black bear party, just like that, and the hood.
Wow.
And hat too. She said, make out of black bear skin. She said, that guy, she told me he's a funny guy. His last name is Tom Tom. I forgot his name. No, they call him Tom Tom. I don't know who it is. It was a long time ago. They call him Tom Tom. Yeah. When Tom Tom walked, boy, he said, when they go out hunting moose or something, when Tom Tom walked, he said, Lord, this heat, steam just come out of him. And then That's winter time they do that, and then summertime, you know how people they stay together, lots of they live all together. And Tum Tum, she say Tum Tum, he come across lots. They were making rabbit fence. You make rabbit fence. A lot of people with you, eh? You're traveling and you gotta get food, eh? So they make kind of like a brush roll like this, and they put snares all over where just make a hole like that in between the brush, and you put your snare there and like that, and then like a fence, you make a rabbit fence, you call it gall wall. And people are all gathered back there, and they make noise. They make noise, all kinds of noise, and push hit sticks and stuff like that. Clap. They come. All the rabbits run there, and run to the snare where they set it in the fence. And the same thing they do with the moose too, and they chase it out and down to the valley where they got their snare. And caribou too. They make caribou fence. And they make opening, and they put snare there. That's how they chase it all in there. They make all kinds of noise, and animals run from noise, eh? So, and when they use a rabbit fur. Rabbit fur is when you skin rabbit, it's just really thin. It tear easy. But then they roll it, that rabbit fur. They roll it on a stick, and then they make. My mother said they make blanket out of it. When they put the rolls together like that, they weave it like that. And there's hole in between. She said hole in between that fur, but do you know what? That fur is really warm. Blanket really warm. And they also make blankets out of gopher fur. They catch a lot of gopher, and they tan it, and then they sew it together. That's how they sleep on the blanket. I was thinking about that a long time. I was thinking, how come there's Native people always sleep on fur? You know, fur got, when you go like this to fur, like electricity, and that's how it is in your body. Electricity too, eh?
Yeah.
That's how maybe they restore electricity in their body. They sleep in that fur. They sleep on the fur.
Yeah.
They also use sheepskin just for mattress. You roll it up and they're ready to go and go anywhere.
Wow.
Yeah. They got mattress too. I forgot to say something. Did I just...
The man that wore the big bear suit?
Oh yeah, that Tum Tum. And she says they were walking, going to another place in summertime. And Tum Tum see lots of little rabbits. He's like, ah, real loud. Tum Tum. She said, Tum Tum is really loud. He scared all the rabbit. He said, he scared all the rabbit laying down everywhere. They about got heart attack. Rabbit can get heart attack easy, she say, I guess. You know?
Really?
He just scared those rabbits. They just lay down everywhere. She said, him, you just go there and pick it up. Twist their neck. They tell funny stories a long time ago. It's just funny. So, they make their own fish hook a long time ago too. They make fish hook out of a piece of bone like that. And they make all kinds of stuff out of bone. Moose leg, the bone like this, and it looked like a needle, and it's got a little knob at the end. They use that for awl too. They use it for awl. My mom telling me a long time ago, her dad used to make awl out of link skin. I mean link arm. You take that bone out, it's smaller than the moose one. That one you put it in your hair, that little moose bone has got a little knob at the end that comes from the lake here.
Oh yeah.
And my mother's dad used to make awl for people. He would drill a little hole there inside that. He would carve that awl bone, and he put a little steel in there, and then he sharpen the steel, and then he sell it. The traditional awl is just you carve that bone small, and you cut it small, and then you can sew with it. And she said my mother, she said her dad used to make that kind and sell it to people. When they sell it to people, they don't get money for it. They get other hide for it, or they get some kind of tool for it and stuff like that.
A tree.
Yeah. And they made stuff out of rock too. They make axe out of rocks, and they make the root turn like that. They put a stone axe on the end of it with the sinew.
Did they catch like king salmon with those?
King salmon, you use
Gaff.
gaff. Yeah. They make that their own gaff a long time ago too.
Yeah.
They make everything.
Everything.
It works too. And then the oldest is that spear thing they call like this, and they get that thing there from the moose nose or someplace in the moose head. It's like this, and that the bone goes up like this, and then they get fish like that. It hooks on like that. Yeah. So that it come from the moose head,
Yeah.
that bone. They make all kinds of tools they have to know, I guess, or somebody way back teach them where to get the things from to make the tools. And it's passed down from generation to generation, and how many generations. Somebody invented it, I guess, some way back.
Survival, right?
Yeah. And it's a name of survival. And they use every part of the body, and moose too. I remember they used to they could hang up you cut that moose leg off like this, and there's a foot, but you need the skin to it like that. You tie it up, you hang it on a tree. You hang it on a tree, and if you really run out of food or something like that, you go back to get that dry moose hoof. Then you put it in the water overnight, and you boil it, and you take that moose hoof off. And they use that moose hoof. They cut off that moose hoof off the ends, and the back one too, the little one, and they tie it all onto piece of thin hide, and make string out of it, the thin hide, maybe caribou hide or whatever, and they tie it on there, and they make something like a bell. What they use that one for animal snare. If you got it on a moose snare, that bell up there, then it's got lots of moose hoof on top. They go like that when something get caught, and they come there and kill it with spears or whatever they got, arrow.
Wow.
Yeah, and then they also have beaver. they make beaver net. Didn't have no trap long time ago. They make a beaver net out of sinew. You take it back in the moose leg bone, and you collect all those little thread and make long thread. My mom, she had my grandmother snare out of sinew, twisted sinew, long, that spring snare. I know how to set that kind too. My brother know how to, James Allen, and we know how to make that, and that's out of sinew too. Pieces of sinew. They make that beaver net. They tied it all together to make a net. It's not like it looked like a fish net, but it's a small net. So when beaver get caught in that net, that they got a stick go like that, and that beaver pulling on that netting, and that stick willow go like that, and they go ding-a-ling-ling-ling-ling. You catch beaver, you know. So you get up from what you're doing over there in the bush, you're waiting for. Yeah. You run there, then you pull it out, that beaver. Because you gotta tear that net apart, and you don't do it right away. That's how they caught beaver a long time ago. They used net a long time ago.
Beaver's sure good too, right?
Huh?
Beaver's sure good.
Yeah.
Use a lot of.
Us, we don't eat beaver. We just eat the tail, but we always save beaver meat for the other people's eat it, and we save it for the other people.
Yeah, the tail's good too. Put on the fire.
Yeah, it's really good. I'll tell you a story. They say link is really good eating too. Link.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I tasted link before. We were kids, and Grady Jackson, Mom and Dad, they've been come back from trapline, and they've been cooked link. I got that. They cut it in pieces, and the hind leg and stuff like that. And Grady would come. She said, "Want to eat some turkey?" I said, "Okay." Then she opened the oven. She took out that white meat. I don't know what those meat. And she put it in a dish, she cut it up, and she gave it to me here. Yeah, eating away. Tastes good, that turkey. Eating. she, after I finish it, she don't say nothing. After I finish eating all of it, she said, "Not turkey." She said, "It's link meat." I said, "What?" She said, I couldn't believe it. So I know link just tastes like turkey.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it's good meat too. Usually they eat the leg parts, and front shoulders like that. They eat so it's good meat eating that. And what else could I tell you about now? They make bag out of whitefish too, whitefish. They take out the whitefish. That bag is the bottom of the tail right here, right? And they come out like that, and cut it off at the head. They take out all the meat and the bone out of it, and they dry it like that. They cut the tail off.
Yeah.
They dry it like that, and it's a good, strong bag. That fish skin bag.
Wow.
Yeah, and they used to weave thin caribou babiche skin to make bags, hunting bags, and you see them bags. You ever see them bags? They weave it together and make one bag for the daku cultural center in Haynes Junction.
Oh.
And I made a kit for them to show them how you make it with a...
Is it when you first walk in?
Willow, eh?
Is it when you first walk in? There's a bunch of stuff in Daku?
Yeah, it's got my name on it.
Okay.
Where you make a beaded top like this,
yeah.
and so you hook on that skin, that baby skin. You make strings out of it, and you hook it on, and you knot it, and you put your finger like that, or you could put maybe one smaller mesh. You go like that, or you could use a stick. You get a little stick like that, same as what you when you make a fishnet.
Mm-hmm.
You use a little piece of stick, and that's how you measure every loop. And you just keep on going all the way around until you finish.
Better go see it.
Huh?
I want to go see it.
Oh yeah, you go up. It's there. All that string they use it hide for everything, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Every kind of thing. They make from goose hide and baby string and snare, everything. And they don't have shell a long time ago, don't have no shell. They have shell, they make it out of gold. That's why they call it guan ka.
Guan ka.
Yeah, and guan is gold.
Oh.
The Indian people don't have no buckshot, what they call it. They gotta make something out of something kind of soft.
Yeah.
So they find gold and they bang it until it's round like that. And they use it to put it in a big, a long time ago, you got gun, you have to push that rag down
Yeah.
with the powder. And they use that gold for shot. So you might find a round gold like that in a bush somewhere. They use it for shell. That's why they call it guan ka. Ka is arrow. Guan is a golden arrow. Like, that's why they call it guan ka.
Oh, okay.
Ka is an arrow, eh? Bone arrow.
Yeah.
So that's what they make the shot out of it. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's just,
And a long time ago too, I was told that no doctor here, no doctor in the Yukon. People have their relatives who are doctors. I experienced that too. It was wintertime. I got something kind of a big lump in my up on top of my mouth, some kind of blood thing. And when I swallow it, would go down and it would choke me. My grandma, I call her my grandma, old lady, and my mom, the older rate, he take me there, and she fix a tea for me, and I drink it. That thing, I cough, and it just fly out of my mouth. Blood clot like that big.
wow.
And it came out like that clot of blood there. I don't know how that happened. Anyways, I couldn't even drink soup. Clear soup, I couldn't swallow because that thing would go down and block my windpipe. So I wouldn't eat, drink, or anything. When she took me and fixed me. A long time ago, used to be Native people used to have traditional doctors a long time ago too. I hear a story about when they have trouble with their stomach, that person, Indian doctor, just go in there like that with your hand, take it out, to come back out. Nothing, not even cut on the person. That's how strong they had it before, long time ago. But I asked my Uncle Sam that when Uncle Sam was still alive, I tell him, Uncle Sam, I said, how come our people never give us Indian doctor to help us? They said, young people nowadays are crazy, you know? They're really crazy. He told me, he said, they're going to use it different way. He said, they're not going to use it in the right way, like our old people use it in the right way. He said, they're crazy people nowadays, he said. Nowadays, he said. and he said, no, you don't need no doctor now. He said, you got doctor down there. You go, why don't you go down to the hospital, the doctor, you go see doctor there. He said, you don't need no Indian doctor this time. So that's why they never hand it down, eh? Because people use it in the wrong way. He said also, he said, you use your Indian doctor in the wrong way, you pay for it after, you know? It's not given to you to use it in that way. It's given to you to use it to help other people. That's why people have it, that kind of, but people use it in the wrong way. It's good, not good for them, not good for them too. There's this long story about, or I just want to make it short though, that in Lake Labarge area there was one big, kind of like something like a dragon, I guess, big kunlun. That kunlun is a big animal that lived a long time ago. Like they call mammoth kunlun, and they call big snake kunlun. It's a big, huge animal lived a long time ago. That's what they call them things. And old grandma, Gagala, they call her Gagala. She's from King Junction area. A lot of people are named after Grandma Gagala, their Indian name. And she helped people. That big animal was that big, kind of like a dragon, whatever it is, eating people down that way. And she had medicine. It's really powerful medicine. Old grandma had. And she come out of her body and she'd go right inside that big animal and just rip his heart out. And she killed it. And then she'd come out again, go back into her body. She helped people that time. She helped the people survive. She helped the people, otherwise maybe that animal eat up people. And a long time ago, they know what's going to happen too. They know those kind of traditional medicine people. They know what's going to happen. They know that old man from Asia, he said, when the army make that airport, he tell the people, he said, you see that airport over there? He said, there's going to be a tree grow up there again. He said, he's right too, because right now that old airport in Asia have trees growing on it now again. He said, they're not going to be there all the time. He said, tree going to grow up there again. Here he's right too. And then they say, one of those old people say, there'll be a big wind here, big wind in this country, this earth. They said, I don't know.
Big wind?
And then Mary Jacko from Burwash, she went down to store. I hear the stories, eh? she went down to the store at that Corn Lodge. And, the young people, they said, come and meet this guy here. He went to the moon. He said, come and meet him. She turned around, she looked up, point right directly at him. You're the one who's going to change your weather. You're the one. You change the weather. You're going to change the weather. I guess that's they go through that ozone layer or whatever, right?
Yeah.
The weather changed since they go to the moon. So you know all kinds of things. You see that little man on the moon too. There's a story about him too. You look at the moon, you see a little guy standing up with a pot. That's his cooking pot. That's because he. I'll tell you that story. Little guy, maybe 4 foot. He's what they call dwarf and little people.
Yeah.
He was one of those, and he can't hunt himself, but the people were starving and staying in winter and stuff like that. And he told his people, tell them, you gather them together, tell them if I get caribou for you guys, he had power too. If I get the caribou for you guys, I'll tell you where the caribou are. They know where things are. A long time ago with medicine too, right? They know where that's going to be and stuff like that. Anyways, that boy, he said he stayed with his grandma. His grandma's old, right? He stayed and helped his grandma, and his grandma make him sinquoia, and a little willow, shrub willow. You make an arrow, bone arrow for that little boy there. And she made it, his grandma. And then he told those people, if I tell you where the caribous are, you got to bring back the caribou fat, some caribou blood, the kidney, good parts of the caribou meat to my grandma. You got to do that to pay me. So they said, oh yeah, we're going to do that, we'll do that. So then they go in the direction where that boy tell them to go,
Mm-hmm.
They go this way. And he get caribou with him too. He get rabbits and he go hunt. He's a good hunter, that little guy.
Mm-hmm.
So the people that went that way. They get a lot of caribou. They got lots of caribou. Here, they bring back they use the stomach for bake and stuff like that. The moose stomach and caribou stomach, you use it for bake and the bladder of you wash it out and you blow it up and make bake out of that too. The bladder of an animal. Because bladder expand and contract. Well, you blow it like that and you punch it like this with your hand. You blow it up more, you punch it like that with your hand, blow it up more. Pretty soon that bladder bag like that to make container. And anyways, that little boy, the people come back and they put the bag there. There's supposed to be all the goodies inside there. And he looked in the bag, is not all the goodies. They shortchanged him. They didn't give him all the goodies. They gave him some meat. There's a lot of blood in it and stuff like that. And they didn't give him too stingy to give him fat. I guess they keep the fat for themselves. That little boy can't do nothing. I think, I guess. And then that little boy get mad, he get really mad. She said, he told his grandma, he said, I'm going to go away, and go away for good. Tell her grandma. His grandma said, well, who's going to look after me? He said, you'll be all right, Grandma. He said, I got cash underneath the snow everywhere. You see a little stick like this with some kind of rag tie or something, some kind of sign. He make on snow. He said, dig around underneath there, Grandma. He said, you're going to find meat, rabbit, all kinds of stuff like that. He said, he cash it out the bush like that. And then that's how that little grandma survived. She been dig out all that boy and cash it all those rabbits. He kill all the gross stuff like that. He put it in there. Mm-hmm. And then he gets snow and he covered it up. And then he tell his grandma to go get them cash when he go away. Mm-hmm. He go and get really mad. He told his people, I'm gonna go to the moon. He said, because you guys didn't keep your end of the contract or the promise or whatever. You didn't bring the stuff that I told you to bring to me. I'm gonna go. I'm so mad I'm gonna go. So he went to the moon. He stand up in the moon right now. You watch the full moon. There's a boy standing there hanging on to pot. That's his pot. He wanted to boil all the goodies and never got no goodies. Oh. So then, yeah. So that's a story about that little boy in the moon. Mm-hmm. And I was going to tell you something else. I forgot now. Yeah, the old people know all kinds of things, and they tell the people too what the dreamer they call him dreamer, nache. Yeah, it means to dream. You dream, they see it, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And things gonna happen and stuff like that. Eh? They tell the people what's gonna happen and stuff like that. And there's a story about way back, Grandma and Grandpa Isaac and from Asia, they go for long ways. They go long ways to go get gopher. They go way up nesting area and enough nesting area, and they were hunting gopher. There's a few P families there. And a man and his wife. They go another way, they don't all go for hunt this way, or some go this way and some go this way. Like that. They had bone arrow days, those days. And the old grandma and grandpa from Asia, they see animal up there. The animal is yellow and it got spots on it, and the back leg is short, and the tail is short tail, and we got a little horn right here. So, and he said they see that animal and they watch it, and they back away from it, and they move away. They go away from it. They don't know what's that. And today, I think that description sure describes a giraffe. And it describes to that Indian description. The Indian, they don't know giraffe. My mom and dad, they didn't know giraffe. My mom and dad talk Indian all the time. They don't know. They call it Kunlun. But they talk about all this. They got words for spots, and they got words for yellow color, like, and short legs and stuff like that. They describe in the language. And so they see that kind way up Nestling River way. where they my mom talked about where that three big rock. There's three big rocks there. That place where they were. I don't know where that. I never ever go that way. I don't know where they talking about.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of story about big snake too. There's some place names in Carmax. They call it Gyumsho Onk. They call it that one place. I don't know where. I haven't been there either. But they say snake lived there before, big one. And there's a lot of stories about in the bush where they see track where they go around.
Mm-hmm.
A long time ago, they see weird tracks where they go around. That's so they know about. They talk about huge animal long time ago, huge ones. So there was, I don't know how many years ago, but the story still goes on. They talk about that. That's all. That's good enough for you now?
Yeah.